now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool.
You're live, Nick.
Good morning, everyone. And for the second time, I just wanted to welcome my fabulous business partner, Dawn Redman, to another Hospo Live session on what lessons have we learned personally and to take forward in hiring, developing and engaging our teams, as well as a personal outlook. So hi, Dawn. And so Dawn is Hospitality Jobs UK, formerly of Curry Dixon's Warehouse. Sorry to use that joke twice so quickly. Also joined by the fabulous Carly from East London Pub Company and Junior from GBK. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. So long weekend. What shall we do? I think before we start, I think it'll be really good to understand. I know, Nick, you've known Junior a long time and Carly a long time. Junior, can you tell us a little bit about GBK, how many sites they've got and locations? And then after Junior, Carly, can you do the same for East London Pubco? Over to you, Junior.
Okay, hi, I'm Junior. I'm the recruitment manager over at GBK, Gourmet Burger Kitchen. We currently have 67 sites across the UK and Ireland, spread all across London, all the way up to Scotland, Manchester, Liverpool, and we serve burgers, and we do it really well.
Hi everyone, I am Carly. I'm the Recruitment Training and Development Manager for East London Pubco. We currently have just 3 pubs in central London. We were due to be opening another 2 this year. And then we've also got 5 restaurants over in Ireland with our sister company as well. And that's us. Good beer, good times, good vibes.
Love it, Carly. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to be back at one of them soon. In fact, both of them for a great burger and a great pint. Amazing. I'll probably see you guys there as well. So no, look, great intros, great energy this morning on a Friday. So fantastic. Look, this has obviously been an interesting time. I think probably an accentuation of what we go through in normal lives in terms of the ups and downs. This has just been quite extreme. Just going to ask you guys really what you've been doing to kind of keep yourself sort of ticking, motivated, unmotivated, basically as sort of positive a state that you can be. I'll go with you first, Carly.
So I obviously went and wrote a long list of all the things that I wanted to do to spend the time wisely. And I've probably done about half of them. There's probably still a lot to go. But I have been just really catching up with people as much as possible. And I think that I'm such a social person and I need people around me. So to have that interaction via Zoom or house party, or whatever it may be, that has definitely been keeping me motivated every day. Been doing loads of beers and peers, obviously, and then been doing loads of little jobs around the house. Or should I say my partner has. I can't really take credit, but it's looking great.
Project managing, Carly, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Stick to your strengths and all that.
It's an important role.
I'll say take the credit, Carly. We don't know no different. Just take the credit.
Yeah, I've been really busy doing the house.
Boom. You heard it here. I'm not sure I believe you, but anyway, so and yourself, Junior.
So similar to you, Carly, I wrote a long list of things I wanted to achieve. One of them was I wanted to write my memoirs. I was like, do you know what? It's time. I need to write my memoirs.
Amazing.
I've written 1 page so far, and then I got bored and I've stopped and put it down. But I think I will pick it back up again at some point. I think for me, I've just done a lot of reflection. Like it's quite nice to. I live such a busy lifestyle where I'm always doing stuff and I'm always busy. It's actually just quite nice just to be a bit still and just to reflect on everything that's happened and catch up with friends and family and just be at one with doing nothing.
It's quite. I think the time is quite precious. You don't realise that we won't ever get this time back. And reflection, reviewing, and deciding the way you work moving forward is going to change. So tell me a little bit about your teams. What have your teams been doing? What's been going on? How have you been keeping them engaged? What's going on? We'll throw that at you. Carly, because Junior's just having a cup of coffee.
And just a little sip there. So I think probably the word on the street for most people is the whole Corona coaster. And I think the teams have been up and down. making that decision back in March to close the pubs was probably one of the toughest days that anyone had been through within the company. And that was obviously prior to kind of like the knowledge of furlough and everything. So it was really high emotion, what's going on. And then I think we overkilled it by speaking to them too much. And then it got to a point where they were just like, no, we're okay. So I think like many companies, there's been lots of Zooms and quizzes. There's been kind of like a lot of WhatsApp conversations going around. And then just kind of like newsletters and general chit chat, really. And I think we've gone on the speed that the team have wanted to go on. So when they feel like they really need us, we really kind of like are here. When they're like, oh no, we're all right actually, because I'm spending a lot of time with friends and family and having a good old time, then we kind of like just back away a little bit. So but they've been extremely brave. I'm so proud of them, from the very beginning to now, soaking in the information, because of course this whole thing's so new to all of us, from the word furlough to COVID-19. We're all trying to work it all out, and they've just been really supportive. And actually they're so keen to get back to work, and they're gunning. They're like, can we open yet? Can we open yet? We're like, every day's a step closer. It's like super proud of them and how they've handled it. And it's just been emotional for everyone, the world.
Do you have any plans to open? What's your plans about opening? So
we've got no dates yet. Obviously, we're still waiting to hear, and the 4th of July is kind of like the big date for many companies. So we've got no big plans to open as of yet. I think we're just going to see what the next couple of weeks holds, really, find out a little bit more from government. And then, as soon as we can get a date, trust me, you'll all know about it. I'll be shouting it from the rooftops.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were talking about the 4th of July, and they said, let's call it Hospitality Independence Day.
Oh,
I said, I quite like that.
I love that.
I love a hashtag.
Yeah.
And I've created my own little hashtag about Generation Zoom, because I think it's the way forward. So any hashtag tips come my way. But Hospitality Independence Day, watch this space. You heard it here first on Hospital Live. What about your teams? How are they doing?
So obviously similar to Carly, I guess it's all the unknown. I think there's so many questions that unfortunately we're unable to answer at the moment. So it's just kind of keeping everyone's mind at ease. But we're quite lucky that we've been able to open. I think we're at 10 sites now for delivery and collection, and they're mostly all in London at the moment. And we're looking to open some more outside of London. But I guess for our teams, especially in keeping those people engaged that aren't at work, it's like we've been doing things like quizzes, we've done Ready Steady Cook, we've done bingo, we've just done a number of different things all via Zoom just to keep them all engaged. But I think as time is progressing, people are like, actually, do you know what? I'd rather just spend some time with my family and my friends, especially now that they can actually get out into the parks and enjoy the weather. So at the moment, we're just checking in on them regularly with WhatsApp calls and text messages. That's basically it for us at the moment. I think in the long run, I think we'll start to phase the return of staff and start opening up more restaurants. And then when 4th of July comes, who knows what will happen.
So how's the takeaway going? The delivery service has it picked up?
Yeah. So I was quite surprised that so many people, because in my head, lots of people at the moment are furloughed, so get 80% of their salary. So I'm thinking, do you spend all that money on takeaway and delivery? But yes, people are desperate for GBK. So the sales have been really, really good and really quite surprising. And I think that's why we're continuing to open more and more.
Brilliant. Oh, that's good. It's good to get an insight on what you guys are doing with your team, because and everybody thinks they're doing the same thing.
No, that's absolutely right, John. I was getting excited then, Ginny, when you mentioned that you had 10 stores for delivery. I was thinking, yeah, I'm definitely going to, and then I realised I'm not actually that near London. So anyway, give it time.
Yeah, that's the same as me. I'm desperate. Like last night, I was literally that desperate that I was going to drive into London just to go and pick up a GBK, because I'm so desperate for a burger. But as soon as one's open near me, I'll definitely be. I'll probably be doing an Instagram live story of me like eating my first burger.
Fabulous.
And I know you, Ginny. I know you're actually telling the truth there. So yeah. Fantastic. Look, Dawn, we've gone through. We talk, you know, a lot, probably a daily basis. So I'm surprised you're not sick of me. But so I kind of understand, you know, a bit of the journey you've gone through. What really interesting. When we caught up last Junior, when we were talking about, you were talking about all the lessons that we're learning, and actually brought it to the conscious, which interested me in terms of. And we talked about what are those lessons? What have you learned? Why have you learned them? And what are you not going to forget in a hurry? So I'm going to throw that straight to you, Junior, before I ask you the same question, Carly.
I think for me, like I said before, I think reflection has been the most important thing that I've taken away from this. I've really learned to value my own space and some me time. And obviously this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's all about kindness. And really, this week's really been made me think about how I'm being kind to myself, and really investing that time in me and my development. But also being my own cheerleader as well. Like we in hospitality, we do so many things that are amazing and help out other people and keep people connected and etc. But when do we ever go, oh, well done, you did a really good job? Like you never do that. So yeah, becoming my own cheerleader is something I've definitely learned. And also like honesty.
I was pointing at Nick. He about cheering himself, you know, giving yourself a pat on the back. I love that, Junior, because we don't do it enough. And I just pointed at Nick because he's just rode from Fareham to Glasgow over 26 days, 2 hours a day for only.
Well done.
Thank you.
I can't put it out there at the moment, but we had a conversation last night, and the words were, you know, I really enjoyed it. It was phenomenal, but. And then I can't repeat what he said next.
Please don't, John. Please don't. I never said it. But, Didn't drop the F word.
I love the way you're saying that you found yourself, sort of thing, and you know, and it's for me. I feel like I've gone back to basics. I've really gone back, stripped back, and thought, actually, why do I love this industry? Why do I love recruitment? Why do I love it? And I've gone back to basics, and I think. We are all going to come out, and I know it sounds like a cliche, we're all going to come out so much stronger, so much smarter.
Yeah, and I mean, for me especially, like I recently joined the team at Hire, and for me that's been like the icing on top of the cake, because it was just a nice thing to be joining another team, and to be connected to a bunch of really intelligent, creative people who, again, all want to unite hospitality and lift us up as an industry. So, yeah, I think that it's just learning how to connect differently as well with people. Like, before we'd go out for a beer and get really drunk and la-di-da, but now it's all about connecting and having an actual conversation with people and really getting to know people a lot better, which I absolutely love.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Hire in a moment. But Carly, I know you're going to probably follow on from Nick's question about what have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I think very much like Junior, I've kind of learned that actually I can be really adaptable at the drop of a hat, which has been kind of like quite a nice skill to recognise. But on the flip side, it has confirmed how social I am and how much I love being around people. Like hands down. But it has been a great time for reflection, and actually like that fire in the belly of the hospitality industry, and having that time to think about it and what makes me want to go back to work when I've got this time off, so to speak, here. And I'm like, I would do anything to be back at work, and actually realizing how much I love the industry and the people. And I think it's just that you just learn that no matter what you face and what challenges come up, you can get through it. You will get through it with the support of people around you, whether that's friends, family, team, networking groups, you know, everything like that. Anything is possible. And every day, and I keep saying that every day is a closer day to coming out the other side of it. And yeah.
You said that at the beginning, Carly, and I've been hanging on to that throughout all of this. So thank you for that. Really positive self-reflections. I think thanks for embarrassing me there, Dawn, and bringing up the rowing thing. I hope you wouldn't do that. But I also know that habits have changed, and you've been out cycling and doing different things as well. So what have you been? I'm going to throw that question at you, Dawn.
What have I been doing? What have I learned about myself, or what have I?
Yeah, that bit.
Okay, what have I learned about myself? I've learned that I'm on now. Well, I don't know about myself now. I've learned that I don't want to work as hard as I did before.
Yeah.
And I know that's putting it out there. People are going, what? What I am doing is not spreading myself too thinly, because I think sometimes everybody can get is an idea. You think, yes, I want to do that. I want to be part of that, and then it's like, I want to be part of that project. But actually, what I learned historically is that the more projects you take on, the less you deliver 100%. So I'm sort of compacting myself very much into ensuring that I focus on different things. I've enjoyed writing articles for magazines. I just wrote one this morning for BII, which was really good fun, because it brings me back to actually, I really do know a lot about recruitment. I'm recruitment through and through. I've been in the industry 30 years. 32 years. I know. This is why you say you don't look it. So 32 years. I enjoy, and what I've noticed over the last 8 weeks is I've met with people that I would never have met with before, and I'm talking with people that I never would have talked before, and everybody's really positive. I know we can say there are a very small minority that is what we're going to do, and I understand they're more pressure because they're business owners, and the pressure on business owners I think is phenomenal, because we my Nick and I are both business owners, obviously of Hospitality Jobs UK, but we also have our own recruitment agencies. And actually, we are motivating our staff and building our staffs up. But every so often, I think you're right, Junior, I have to put a pat on my back and say, you know what, Dawn, you're also trying to motivate yourself, keep yourself busy. So, I've learned that, and I've learned to get back on the bike, which is my partner went out on a bike ride, and he said, I didn't realise you could ride a bike. I said, I'm 53 years old. Of course I can bloody ride a bike. Quite funny. But it's good. It's good. What about you, Nick? What have you learned about yourself?
Do you know what? Quite similarly to you, Dawn. I think I wouldn't necessarily phrase it, and I don't want to work as hard, but it's definitely had a reflection point in terms of prioritizing and like you, not spreading myself too thin. Because, well, look, with the time that we've been working together, which has been absolutely incredible, is also kind of a couple of things that I definitely picked up. Actually, if you don't mind me saying, about you, Dawn, thinking, and we had this open conversation, which is, you're doing too much, sweetheart. You just there's so many things going on, and I suddenly realised, actually, no, I'm really guilty of that as well, and maybe I only recognised it in you because I also was making those mistakes. It's not bad to have a strong work ethic and want to channel a huge amount of energy, but I think the sort of priorities of doing less but doing it better are something I'm definitely going to take out of this. And in terms of lessons not to be forgotten, I'm incredibly hard on myself to the point of, I think maybe that's why I'm went self-employed, because I don't need someone kicking me up the arse, because I'm already 10 steps ahead, as I'm sure we all are in our own different way. And it's just a really sort of interesting thing to actually maybe take that pressure off a little bit, and actually the more your eyes are open, the more you can see and the more you listen. And it's that cliche of two ears, one mouth, he says, chatting away. But also not taking yourself too seriously as well. And I think that you have a role to play and a position to fulfill and all the rest of it. And that's really important, to make that subconscious competence, I suppose, before then just getting on and being yourself, because that's what we like. I mean, this conversation now, loving the energy of all of us, really. And it's that kind of key thing, I think, that's when things return to the new normal, the new world, whatever we kind of call it, describe it as. I think that I'm really looking forward to sort of seeing things slightly differently and people slightly differently. I mean, I love people, I love the sociability, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think a learning curve for me has been a listening one.
Yeah, I think that is key, and we're now going to listen to young Junior and Carly and talk about hire and beers for peers. Now, for me, I know a little bit about hire, I know a little bit about beers and peers. What's your take on the importance of these networking groups and what's going to be happening in your groups and what's happening next? They're slightly different audiences, but I think they're both incredibly amazing and incredibly important to the industry. So should we start with you, Junior? Do you want to talk about hire? I know I'm putting you on the spot here because I know you're new ambassadors, but I think it's a good opportunity to share with the audience who hire are.
Yeah, so Hire our hospitality's internal recruitment exchange. It was set up by three recruitment and people specialists who saw a gap in the market for events, but with a positive spin. Because I think it was really easy. It happens a lot where I was going to a lot of conferences anyway, and a lot of events where all we were talking about was Brexit and hospitality and being a dying industry where people don't want to work, la di da da da. And it was like, well, actually, I don't want to go to any more of those events. I want to go to events where we're talking positively and we're lifting ourselves up and we're inspiring younger people and stuff. So I think that's where Hire was born. And now with us, with our COVID-19, we're finding a new normal. Obviously, we can't do events as that's what they were doing before. Now it's all about how do we inspire and lift the industry up in a positive light, and also attract people to come and work in this industry. Because it is like, I've worked in hospitality my whole entire life, and it's changed me. I've learned so much from it, and it's actually how do we get that story and that message out in a really positive way. And they've done some incredible things. We're working with, at the moment, you might have seen it, you might not have seen it, you should go and check it out, the Higher Side Chat, sorry. And it's where we're interviewing people that we find inspiring or interesting. We've got an interesting story to share. And we've been interviewing a few people, and there's a few more to come out. But that's really, again, another way of sharing people's stories. We've also got a little event coming up next week, Thursday, which is our Hire Bingo. Which is a bongo bingo evening of just some fun. If anyone wants to join, you can see details on our LinkedIn page. What else are we doing? And there's some really cool, interesting things that we're trying to pull together for the future in terms of how we can get Beers and Peers, Hospo Live, and Hire all kind of working collaboratively to lift the industry up. I think, as you said before, we're all doing quite similar things, and targeting different audiences, which is amazing because it means it's going out to more people. But it's how do we kind of tie it all together? And I think we were discussing this last week, using the hospitality proud as the kind of underlying thing that pins us all together. But I definitely think there's a lot of work where we needs to be done in terms of how we drive that forward.
Can I ask you a bit of a cheeky question? Because I set up a group years ago when I was at Dixon's Curry's PC World, just for a training. And I set up an internal recruitment. Well, you've got an exchange. I had a forum. That was predominantly in retail. How are your peers and your not necessarily colleagues, but your peers in other industries? Are they willing to share their best practices with you? Because bearing in mind, you're all recruitment specialists. You all want that special candidate. Do you think does it happen naturally that they share, or is it growing that as they get to know each other, it's becoming more and more, they're more sort of flexible to share?
No, do you know what? I think in the last 5 years, I've definitely seen that we've all started working a lot closer together. Before all this happened, we had a little group of us recruiters that used to get together. Hospitality recruiters used to get together for coffee in the morning every couple of weeks and just exchange best practices, things that we're working on, things that we need some support with, and just share ideas. So I think it's naturally happening when people are sharing ideas, because it's silly for us to work in isolation. Like, I interview people for GBK and I go, yeah, you're not right for GBK, but you should go and work for the Ivy because that's the kind of level that you're at. And I'm happy to do that because it's silly not to share. But it blows my mind when I speak to other recruiters, or I try to call up someone to get a reference, and they're really like cold and dismissive. And I'm like, we all working together. All trying to achieve the same thing. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and eventually we'll all be scratching each other's backs, and we'll live in an amazing world.
That sounds like a party. Carly, tell me a little bit about Beers and Peers as well, please.
Oh, I love that. So Beers and Peers is basically a networking group for people's people. So people that work in-house in L&D, HR, recruitment. and it primarily was aimed at SMEs, so people like myself who, you know, kind of head up the recruitment, the training, the development, the HR within one company. And, you know, no one knows everything, and you need that support and the advice and thoughts and, you know, help. So yeah, we set Beers and Peers up about 11 months ago, so coming up to our first year birthday, can't wait. And it was myself and Hayley from Brewhouse and Kitchen, who is just fabulous. And we get together, we meet in a bar, we have inspirational talks, we do little mini workshops. We talk about the hot topics and conversations, and, you know, we have a few beers whilst doing it, because all good ideas certainly come from a good old beer or a few. And it's just been remarkable. And for me, that community, that support, that friendship has just been vital. And like Junior was saying, seeing all different networking groups come together and support each other, it's keeping the industry alive. Like, the competition's now going to one side, and it's about people uniting, coming together, being, you know, hospitality proud and working together and moving forward. And it's been incredible. And we've done kind of like, we did our first online event, Beers and Peers, the other week, which was fantastic. We've had a couple of HR wellbeing this week. We've got so much coming up. You know, we're really looking at, you know, us as what we can do. And of course, the Hospitality Proud campaign that came, you know, from people that were at a Beers and Peers event, you know, and it came from everyone, which has, you know, just gone wild, really. It came at the right time, and it's so fabulous to hear people talk about why they love this industry, why they're in it, why they're, you know, they're proud, why they're inspired, who inspires them. It just goes on, and you walk away and you're just like, yes, we've got this. And it's just, it's pretty fab.
I feel that, you know, everybody's uniting at the moment. And just to put it out there, if anybody wants to know anything about hire or information, they can contact Junior. Or if they want to know about Beers and Peers, they can contact Carly. Junior's got Bongo Bingo next Thursday. Are you hosting it, Junior?
I think Sam is actually hosting it, but I'll be on there, and I'm sure I'll be drinking away and making a bit of a fool of myself.
And obviously, the Beers and Peers do 5:30 every Friday. The Hospo Live. They do a chat. They do a little bit of a quiz, which is good to just tune into, because that's when I really open my bottle of wine as opposed to my glass of wine. So, you know, I think the synergy between you guys, just as people, but also as network groups, is going to be phenomenal moving forward. And then I think it's actually brought you all a lot closer than you potentially would have been without this terrible, challenging time we're having. Nick?
Yeah, the importance of networking and support, I think it's great. I mean, I know, well, through my other half, Giovanna, you know, being an internal recruiter, it's that isolation and talking to people and getting the, you know, whatever area of HR it is. I think it's really, really important. I mean, you know, the events that I've been to, you know, I look at it as so if I'm thinking about the teams, or the, you know, the team that I work with, my colleagues, I always come away with something, as I think you should do from every conversation, with sort of an action point and a learning from, wow, that different way of engagement on an L&D side is actually really something to think about. And then you sort of bring it away, you take it into your small business. And I just think the importance of it is absolutely crucial. And you know, the maturity of what's happening through all these challenges and learning curves we're going through at the moment is definitely going to benefit us as people, as a group of people, and as an industry. So yeah, you know, bring it on, and long may it continue. And I think, you know, although I was listening to the news the other day, apparently we're in a recession. Of course we're in a bloody recession, nothing's open. But actually, you know what, the spike that's going to come afterwards, and call me an optimist, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so I want to try and leave on some really positive notes here. And I think the whole session's been so much fun. You know, when I've got Junior and Carly joining us on a Friday, I thought, because this was Nick's bag, and I'm thinking, oh, thank God for that, because I know it's going to be fun. And I think we need that, because that's one thing I think hospitality is brilliant at, is having fun. So I really am putting it out there on you two guys. I don't mean to spin this, but if you could, if the audience is listening, they want to take away something for the future. Personally, what do you think will be the biggest change in the future that you personally think? It doesn't have to be supported by anything. And also, what do you think we need to be doing, continue doing, to make the future positive? Carly or Junior?
I think that hospitality, as much as people think it's going to start dying off, it's the future's always going to have hospitality in it, because hospitality plays a part in every single thing that we do every day. And unless everyone is deciding to just stay indoors for the rest of their lives, then hospitality is not going to die. And I think people need to remember that. And I think for me, the one thing that I want to see more of is people sharing their stories of how they started hospitality and how hospitality has changed their lives. Because I think I speak to so many people, and hospitality touches everyone in such a different way, and has an effect on their life in such an interesting way. And I think it'd be really, really amazing to see more of that coming out and coming alive. I think the future is going to be all about sharing stories. Because those stories touch people in different ways. So yeah, I think the future is hospitality, and the future is stories.
Carly?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The future is hospitality. I mean, to me, hospitality is community. It's the backbone of our, British culture. We're here. We provide a place for people to celebrate and pop for a pint or a cup of tea in the local cafe, whatever it is. We are here and we're not going anywhere. And we've been around for millions of years, pretty much. I was watching Little Women the other day, and they're all in the pub and like clinking their tankards, and I was like, see, even in the 1800s it was so important. So it's never going to go anywhere. And I think, sharing, honesty, and just being hospitable, inviting people in, that true hospitality. It's going to be exciting. We'll get through it bigger, stronger, and we'll be back with a vengeance.
I don't think we could end that any better. I mean, I've been looking at everything that's going on in the industries and what the trading bodies are doing. And also I've been looking at the retail sector, and the hospitality is definitely leading it. And what I'm finding, which is amazing about the hospitality sector, is how innovative people are being. So the fact that would GBK be doing takeaways only, would they be thinking about that 4 months ago? I mean, they did it, but now they're really doing it big time.
Yeah.
And it's about actually rolling it out and making. And will I be the first one in the pub on the 4th of July? Bloody right, I will.
See you there.
And
See you there.
And I'm driving along and I'm seeing these beautiful pub gardens, and they can adapt. They can have throwaway menus. They can have the gel that's going in. I posted a couple of things on LinkedIn about what some pub companies are doing, and I think we are guided by the customers. And even if all the customers are people in hospitality, there will be enough customers. So I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I'm so glad you came along today. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Nick, over to you to finish off.
Fab. There's nothing more to say. I just really enjoyed this, and just I think there's a call to action for anyone watching or anywhere this gets circulated. Just tell a story. Hospitality is all about telling a story. We tell our story, and then when the businesses are open, customers can come in and tell their own individual stories to each other. So tell your story. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Ginia. Thanks,
guys. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Happy Friday.